is 27 News First this morning.
Now at 6:30, it's going to be a hot weekend, especially for some worshipers at a local church, all because of what thieves did overnight. This morning, police have found some clues.
Also on WKYT this morning, the mother of a missing man says her son was the last seen with a double murder suspect.
And in the presidential campaign, the debate has gone from the economy to education. These stories and more, also breaking news as it happens, coming up on 27 News First this morning.
It's Friday. Good morning, everybody, and welcome in to WKYT as we get you informed and ready for this weekend to come. Hopefully you have some time off to enjoy. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Barbara Bailey, in for Stacey Ellison today, Friday, May 25th, the unofficial start of the summer season.
Yeah.
But boy, it's going to feel like it's the real thing.
It may as well be official.
I know.
We're talking about climbing into the 90s. Let's go to meteorologist Todd Borick in our First Alert Weather Center as, we get ready for this heat.
And it's already going to be there for today. In fact, off to a mild start this morning. Let's take a look at live First Alert Defender. Quiet right now. 67 degrees in Lexington. Still some 50s farther to the south, but those temperatures will soar this afternoon. The upper 80s for highs. We'll be in the low 90s Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. There is a stray shower chance today and tomorrow. We'll talk about whether or not we could break any records. My full forecast minutes away.
We thank you, and we'll see you shortly with that.
That steamy forecast probably isn't what leaders at a Lexington church are wanting to hear right now.
That's because thieves stole an air conditioning unit from the Disciples of Christ Church on Red Mile Road overnight, going right through a 6-foot-high fence. And WKYT's Angie Bevan is there live for us this morning with the clues that police may have to go on. She's there right near the scene of the crime. Angie, good morning.
Good morning. That's right. But we're right around the back of the church where all of this happened. And workers overnight here tell us that crimes like this have happened before within the last year. They say it's getting to be a problem and an expensive one at that. Go ahead and take a look here. You can see where someone was able to cut through this fence, which is about 6 feet tall, and get inside here to those air conditioning units. And they left behind thousands of dollars worth of damage. Lexington police say right around midnight they were notified of an alarm going off at Disciples of Christ Church. When officers got to the church on Red Mile Road, they found someone had tampered with the air conditioning units. One of the 4 large AC units was totally disassembled. Police say the suspects left behind some tools and a backpack, but no one was in sight once police got here. Now, since this seems to be a recurring problem, the workers tell us the church is looking into putting in surveillance as well as the alarm system they already do have. Now, in addition to causing damage totaling in the thousands of dollars, the church now also won't have properly working AC. And again, as we head into this weekend where we're expecting very warm temperatures. So again, just another thing they'll have to be worrying about as they all get in here today. For now, live in Lexington, Angela Bevan, WKYT 27 News First.
Angie, thank you. Also new this morning, we're learning about an accident that killed one person and sent 2 others to the hospital. Emergency workers tell WKYT a driver was killed late yesterday when he lost control of his car in Garrett County. It happened on Gooch Pike, very near Paint Lick. Another man and a woman were also in the car. They were hurt. No names have been released as of this moment.
There's new information this morning about a suspicious house fire where a woman's body was later found. State police have now charged 46-year-old Jeffrey Sweeney of London with murder, arson, and robbery. The victim, 50-year-old Teresa White, was found dead inside her burning home on Waterworks Road in Laurel County back in March. Police say White died of blunt force trauma. New this morning, state police are looking for a missing man who was last seen with a double murder suspect. Clint Deskin's mother tells the Advocate Messenger her son hasn't been seen for nearly 3 months. She says she last saw her 31-year-old son with Thomas Hager Jr. Danville police say Hager shot and killed 21-year-old Mark Snyder and 54-year-old Ted Sparks earlier this week. Deskin's mother is also worried about her son's health. She says her son is diabetic and insulin dependent.
Now 6:34 here on WKYT and your morning news, and it's going to be a significant day in West Liberty. Governor Steve Beshear is planning to visit the town nearly 3 months after that deadly tornado. The governor is first expected to sign 3 bills into law, and they are all related to emergencies and disaster recovery in that area. Later this morning, he's expected to take part in the town's Memorial Day ceremony. And West Liberty's pool will also open today after some repairs were made.
The man police say has admitted to a cold case more than 3 decades old will go before a judge today. New York City police say they've arrested 51-year-old Pedro Hernandez in connection with the 1979 disappearance of 6-year-old Aton Pates. Hernandez reportedly lured the boy into the basement of the convenience store where he worked and choked the young boy to death. President Obama and Mitt Romney plan to get off the campaign trail for the Memorial Day weekend.
But before taking that break, both campaigns have been playing hardball. Susan McGinnis has the latest from the campaign trail.
Mitt Romney went to school in Philadelphia, continuing his week-long focus on education.
We allow more choice for parents. I like every parent to have a choice and every child to have a chance.
But he faced a tough crowd. Teachers from the urban charter school criticized Governor Romney's education proposals and his assertion that class size doesn't matter.
I can't think of any teacher. Mr. Bennett, would you want more kids in your classroom?
In a shift in strategy, the Obama campaign is expected to go after Romney's record as governor of Massachusetts. During that time, Romney made large cuts in education funding, and the state's debt rose. It was the national debt Romney used to attack the president. In Des Moines last week, he said the president added an historic amount to the deficit.
A prairie fire of debt is sweeping across Iowa and across the nation.
The president campaigned in Des Moines last night.
His speech was more like a cow-pie distortion.
He says Romney's plan would add to the deficit.
He hasn't told you how he'd pay for a new $5 trillion tax cut. That is like trying to put out a prairie fire with some gasoline.
This is the president's second trip to Iowa in a month, and his campaign has poured more than $2.6 million into ads in this key swing state. Romney has begun airing ads of his own there.
Day one, President Romney announces deficit reductions, ending the Obama era of big government.
He and the Republican National Committee plan to open a dozen or more offices in Iowa. In Washington, Susan McGinnis, WKYT 27 News First.
Now, on Tuesday, Romney, as well as Donald Trump and Newt Gingrich, will be holding a fundraiser in Las Vegas.
It's a big day for many high school seniors. Yesterday, of course, the last day of school in Fayette County, and later today, hundreds of seniors will graduate. Henry Clay seniors will be the first to walk across the Rupp Arena stage starting at 4 p.m., followed by Lafayette's ceremony tonight at 7. Tomorrow, students from Dunbar will take the stage at 11 a.m. Up next, Tate's Creek at 2 o'clock. And finally, Bryan Station's ceremony is set for 5.
Good morning. No collisions right now, and traffic is light around town. Didn't see any problems on Alumni. Just checked from Man-O-War down to Tate's Creek Road. Things are steady. Let's get a look outside, and we'll show you what's happening as you head out the door for not school this morning. How about work? Live look at Nicholasville and Shady Lane, where it's, as I said, very light there. As far as your drive times go, you're okay on the way in. No problems just yet from Nicholasville to the Circle, about 16 minutes, and around the Circle, no wrecks or delays. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, Don. Thank you very much. You think some may have managed to sneak out a little early?
Well, possibly. That does happen sometimes,
that
doesn't
weekend
it?
a little more, you know. All right, 6:38, 27 News First this morning on the air, and more news is on the way.
Just weeks ago, it was announced a Kentucky amusement park would be reopening 1 year from now, but now apparently more obstacles than first thought for Bluegrass Boardwalk.
And also, we'll update you on new developments this morning in the search for 2 home invasion suspects. We have new information in that coming in.
And temperatures are in the 60s right now. Get ready for some heat and then eventually some humidity for this Memorial Day weekend. Details next.
Now, 27 First Alert weather.
A good Friday morning, honey. Right on the doorstep of the Memorial Day holiday weekend. Get ready for some heat and then eventually some humidity. Let's take a look at live sky camera. The sun is out now. Beautiful start across the Bluegrass. Temperatures are going to reach in the upper 80s for today. Sunset tonight, 8:51. Live First Alert Defender. No precipitation, although this afternoon we may see a stray shower or two for areas along and north of I-64. So heading through the rest of your morning hours, we'll be in the 60s with fair sky. Breezy conditions by the noontime hour. A few cumulus clouds may build this afternoon. Our highs, look at that, in the upper 80s. Comfortable night to night by the 9 o'clock hour, and we'll be a touch warmer by this time tomorrow, 68 degrees by the 6 o'clock hour tomorrow. Check out these temperatures for the upcoming weekend. We'll be in the upper 80s today, falling 2 degrees shy of tying a record. Saturday and Sunday may end up tying a record with highs in low 90s. Monday will also be in the low 90s. Remember, not only with the heat, but we are adding the humidity. So even though the air temperatures will be in the low 90s, it's going to feel more like the mid to upper 90s with that heat and humidity added in. 67 at Bluegrass Airport, a south wind right now at 9 miles an hour, mainly in the mid to upper 60s across the region, the exception London and Middlesbrough in the upper 50s. Frontal boundary to our north and west. There's a disturbance off the coast of Florida. If you're heading down to the Florida Peninsula or anywhere along Georgia or South Carolina coastline, you may encounter this area of low pressure, might end up turning into a tropical depression this upcoming weekend, really within the next 24 hours. So that's something to pay attention to if you are going to be traveling down south, let's say to Orlando, if you're going to be heading over to Hilton Head, something to pay attention to. Ridge of high pressure in place. A stray shower may pop up this afternoon, mainly points north. A dry start tomorrow, and then also points east, maybe a stray afternoon shower, although Futurecast does overplay the amount of precipitation with that. Sunday, looking dry, and looks like Sunday is going to be the best day for us to end up tying or breaking a record. Warm and breezy, stray afternoon showers today, points north. Our high in the upper 80s, 67 tonight. Then temperatures soar in the 90s Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. The chance for on Memorial Day will be during the course of the afternoon before those temperatures do drop down a bit. But just remember, light colored clothing, take lots of breaks, drink lots of water. Don't forget about your pets too. Allow them indoors in the air conditioning and give them plenty of water.
Absolutely.
And certainly
need to take care of
sunscreen.
them.
Yeah, sunscreen with all the sunshine. All right, Todd, thank you. 6:44. Take a look at this.
The SpaceX Dragon capsule is on track for a berthing with the International Space Station today. This is a live look. Exciting.
It's the first time a private spacecraft has ever visited the ISS. The Dragon is carrying 1,000 pounds of food and supplies. So, yeah, a new way of doing this with the private companies getting involved. Guess we could start a new business there.
At least so far, it looks like it's very successful,
That's right.
too. We'll keep watching.
And the NASA's going to try to concentrate on bigger things like Mars, asteroid visits, that kind of thing. So that's why the change. Almost 6:45 now, Friday morning, WKYT. Glad you're along with us, and we'll be right back.
More news when we return.
I'm Charlie Rose. Coming up, what's new with Agent J and Agent K? Director Barry Sonnenfeld will be here to talk about Men in Black 3 coming up on CBS.
An update now to a developing story we're following. Police have released sketches of 2 men wanted in a home invasion.
Let's take a look. Here they are. Winchester Police sent these to our newsroom just about an hour ago. The men are wanted in the robbery that happened on Jackson Street last week. Police say the victim, who was an elderly woman, was tied up with tape for an hour before she could free herself, and the robbers got away with a collection of rare coins.
Well, if you plan to hit the roads this holiday weekend, you're going to be accompanied by plenty of police officers.
They're going to be out there for sure, and you can also expect more traffic. So we want to check holiday traffic. WKYT's Victor Puente live in Lexington with some ways to stay safe as you travel. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, Bill. So far, things moving just fine here along I-75. Now, this long weekend is going to encourage a lot of people to get out on the road. AAA estimates around 35 million Americans will be traveling this weekend. And they won't be the only ones on the road. There'll be a lot of police out here, too. Now, police in Kentucky kicked off their Click It or Ticket campaign this week. They're looking for anyone not buckled up. They say if you don't have your seatbelt on and they catch you, you will receive a ticket. Now, the campaign continues through June 3rd. Meanwhile, travel experts say you can avoid a lot of that traffic by leaving before 10 a.m. or after 4 in the afternoon. They say you'll likely encounter more traffic early in the afternoon. Live in Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT 27 News First.
Victor, thank you very much. The new amusement park, Bluegrass Boardwalk, may not open next May after all. The Courier-Journal is reporting this morning that financing and lease delays threaten to push the opening date to 2014. And there are also concerns about the roller coasters that are already on the property, which was once Kentucky Kingdom. There's concern they may not be able to be refurbished. The owners of Holiday World in Indiana have taken over management of that Louisville amusement park.
An inspection is planned for today on a Central Kentucky public swimming pool that's leaking. The Cephaletta Family Aquatic Center in Georgetown had been scheduled to open tomorrow, but officials say it will stay closed until further notice.
Because it's a fairly new structure, we're still new enough to, not really start experiencing some major, as an older pool might.
Officials are trying to determine whether construction on a nearby Kroger store caused those leaks. Blasting for the building caused damage to some other homes in the area.
WKYT Morning News Time is now 6:50. Some forecasters say it may be time for some parts of Kentucky to consider conserving water. Here's why. Parts of western Kentucky are already in a drought. The state says 24 counties have reached drought status in the Commonwealth, and they're experiencing conditions normally not seen until around July. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey says for now, though, it does not look like that this drought will spread to the central part of the state.
We go into a little dry spell over the next month or so. We can handle that. It's one of those, if you go into a 5 or 6 week dry spell, then okay, you start to have a little agricultural problem. But right now, I just don't foresee that happening.
Farmers that grow crops and horticultural vegetables for us would be certainly impacted. That means prices would obviously be a concern in the longer run.
Concerns are also growing for the livestock industry as ponds recede and limit the water supply for farm animals.
There's new video this morning showing a burglary at a restaurant. The video from the Ponderosa Steakhouse in Hazard shows 2 masked burglars breaking into the restaurant late Sunday night. Police say they stole $3,000 from the restaurant safe. The assistant manager says the burglars also cut the phone lines and pulled the outdoor alarms off the ceiling. Police have not made any arrests. A teenager is facing felony charges this morning for breaking out a school bus window. Police in Oldham County say the teen threw a full can of soda at the windshield of the moving bus. A camera inside the bus caught the can shattering the glass, terrifying the driver.
She did a great job holding her composure and controlling the vehicle and getting it to a safe location. Could have had children on board, and she could have been injured or lost control of the vehicle.
Police arrested 18-year-old Aaron Pound, an Oldham County high school student.
Kentucky Derby winning trainer Doug O'Neill has been suspended for 45 days. It's a result of one of his horses exceeding the allowable limit for total carbon dioxide. But the punishment will not begin before July 1st. That ensures that he will be able to saddle I'll Have Another in next month's Belmont Stakes.
Well, this weekend at the movies, we'll find out if the Men in Black are any match for the Avengers.
Good afternoon. Please give your attention to my associate, Agent J. He's going to demonstrate an electro-biomechanical.
Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith are back with Men in Black 3. This time they're joined by Josh Brolin, who plays a younger version of Jones because this sequel involves time travel. From the creator of Paranormal Activity comes Chernobyl Diaries. The gritty documentary-like thriller follows a group of extreme tourists who visit an abandoned city next to the site of the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. The doors of the Best Exotic Marigold Hotel are opening for nationwide release. The film is about a group of British retirees who travel to India.
Our news time on WKYT is just about to hit 6:54, and on WKYT.com we have all the latest news available to you anytime, and take us along on your phone over the weekend wherever you go. We anticipate this very hot weekend coming as we reported portions of western Kentucky already experiencing a drought. We have the story about that and meteorologist Chris Bailey's take on it as well. And we're climbing into the 90s for the weekend. As far as those highs, we'll be very near record high temperatures, and Todd says there's a chance of a pop-up thunderstorm or two in the afternoons. You can track it all on the First Alert Defender that is right there on our weather page. All right, big weekend plans for a father and son from Lexington who are getting ready for a twin-engine plane trip to Europe. Gray Lang Jr. and his son Graham are prepping for the trip in a 22-year-old Beechcraft. Kentucky.com has details about their great adventure over the pond. Say hello on our Facebook page this morning. I just snapped this picture, a graphic that Todd made. Hot pretty much says it all. Drop by and get in touch on Facebook. We always like to connect up there. And some great recipes for the Memorial Day weekend, and whether that's for your grill or picnic table, SouthernLiving.com has some real good ideas from barbecue to main dishes to dessert as well. And several of those recipes available right now on the web. Okay, CBSNews.com is covering the world, featuring a video this morning of a juggling triathlete. Yeah, it's 31-year-old guy named Joe Salter. He's a man of many talents on this video, as you see, not only in this race with all the others who are involved in that, but yeah, he's laying back and doing some juggling as well, and still finished with a very good time. So quite interesting. Maybe Sam Dick would like to try that version. We'll challenge him to that. All right, that available on cbsnews.com there. Join us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. And for the latest news anytime, it's WKYT.com.
Well, we are collision free this morning and traffic is a lot lighter for some reason. Maybe a lot of folks playing hooky early for the holiday weekend. Let's get a look outside. We'll show you what's happening right now of course, this is a day that school's out, so it's helping a lot. Versailles and Man of War looking good. Now back to you in the studio.
And right now, looking at a beautiful warm start outside. Frontal boundary to our north, that could play a role in a stray afternoon shower for points along I-64 and northward. Also looking area of low pressure that is starting to strengthen off the coast of Florida. If you are heading down to South Carolina, like Hilton Head, down through Georgia, or to Florida Peninsula this weekend, we could end up seeing a tropical depression, maybe even a named storm, push its way across the peninsula over the next 24 hours or so. So something to watch. Temperatures out the door are right now in the 60s, so a very warm start across the region, and the extended forecast looking at those temperatures to rise the upper 80s, low 90s through the week and get ready for hot and humid conditions. Gorgeous look outside.
Boy,
that
does
pretty.
Look nice, huh? Nice start to the day. All right, nobody's more up to date than you to start your day. Thank you for being with us on WKYT. Next newscast mid-morning at 10.
CBS is next. Have a great day.